Thank you for taking a look at my proposal for a system of assessment at Ashfield Middle School. My name is Jen Owen, and I've been diligently researching and designing a plan that I think might work with our school. Before we begin, let's take a look at our school. As you know, Ashfield is a small community school that was originally an elementary school, and it is now a middle school, and it's located in the outskirts of the urban community of Brockton. While we have a dedicated and caring staff, our highly diverse student body is offered a rigorous curriculum that is matched to the state standards and learning targets. While the school is relatively small and there are challenges with the physical workspace and often limited resources, teachers and students are able to adjust to make it work. There are also multiple environmental factors that influence our students' ability to access curriculum, ranging from poverty, crime, drugs, as well as cultural and academic factors. Regardless of the challenges that we are faced, students are our focus. While students in our classroom bring rich and diverse cultural experiences, they often are distracted by the social and environmental factors that surround them in their neighborhoods. We have ability levels that span from extremely low to incredibly gifted, and we also have some students that have behavioral, emotional, and various academic needs. At Ashfield, teachers are one of the most important assets that we have. Our teachers offer instruction that exemplifies enthusiasm and ingenuity as they are multi-talented, resourceful, and flexible. Teachers at Ashfield are committed to the development and education of children from diverse backgrounds and also bring unique experiences to the classroom. While all these characteristics are important in a school, there are a few questions that we need to consider and reflect upon. These are: how do we know if we are being effective in our instructional practices? How do we know which teaching practices are meeting the needs of our students? How do we know whether we should reteach concepts or drive forward in content? And how do we know if our students are making immediate academic gains? These are the driving questions that frame the need for a formal plan in place for a system of assessment. A second need is based on the Massachusetts MCAS results. While Ashfield Middle School does not require assistance or interventions from the state based on the 2018 MCAS results, we are only partially meeting summative assessment targets. There is so much room for student growth, and it is important as a school to be forward-thinking to assure that we are taking all actions possible to ensure growth and learning of our students. So why a formal system of assessment? Many times, schools rely on teachers to base their teaching and assessment practices on instinct. I know that many times as a classroom teacher, I would hope, in quotations, hope, students received instruction, but never really knew for a fact whether students got it prior to the common assessment or other higher stakes testing. In today's competitive world, this is just not how we should be operating as teachers in schools. Incorporating systematic formative assessments where we can collect student data can result in an increase in higher stake testing results. So, what should this look like? Burkhart breaks down assessment methods into four major categories: formative in purpose, but with a classroom focus; formative in purpose with a large-scale focus; summative in purpose with a classroom focus; and summative in purpose with a large-scale focus. It is the hope that when a classroom is focused on formative assessment, has classroom-focused summative assessment, and a larger scale formative assessment, that all of these combined will not only increase or result in an increase in the larger scale summative assessment, namely the MCAS, but also provide our students with the skills and foundational knowledge and other work to help them work through high school and be contributive members of society and in their future. While each of these assessments play a role in the overall system of assessment, the most important assessment is the classroom formative assessment because it has the most impact on immediate instructional direction and methods in the classroom. Fisher and Frey, or Frey and Fisher, suggested that formative assessment is all about taking immediate action based on the student's performance. So really looking at what's going on in the classroom and reacting right then and there. One of the most important ideas that often gets lost in teaching is that formative assessment works together with all parts of the learning cycle. This is one reason why Ashfield needs to rethink how it uses its formative assessment. Not only should we be using formative assessment to direct instruction, but we should consider who develops the formative assessments, how they are developed, and how we collect data and use the data from them. Teachers should be collecting the data and collaborating with one another to create formative assessments that match each day of instruction. Assessments should consider academic and language needs, learning environment, and how we could use technology to collect real-time data. Data should be systematically collected, analyzed, and shared to drive further instruction. One might question how the system of assessment should be implemented. Teachers are the key, and we need to enlist their support by convincing them of the importance of this idea and modeled by those who are considered experienced. To help guide educators, training should be available, and it should incorporate development, it should incorporate implementation, and it should give them time for growth. This support and training should occur frequently. And lastly, requiring this as part of the educator evaluation system will increase the likelihood of sustainability. While I'm sure that there is some interest might have been piqued, I am hoping that you might want to learn more. I am asking you to take a look at my proposed system of assessment, which is based on current research, best practices, and the needs for our students. Thank you so much for considering my proposal, and I would be happy to share the full report in writing.